Hey everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to The Ridge. Today, we're going to talk about kombucha. Did you know that kombucha is packed with probiotics? It supports gut health and is super easy to make at home? Well, today I'll show you exactly how to create your own delicious batch, step by step. And it all starts with a perfect cup of tea. Making kombucha might look complicated or difficult, but it's definitely not. Stick around and we'll show you the easiest way to make it so that you have the perfect kombucha every single time. Join us.
Sweet Maple Red Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
To get started, all you need is some organic black Lipton tea, some sugar, and a healthy SCOBY. I'll walk you through everything you need to know from brewing to fermenting so that you can enjoy the benefits of kombucha at home. It's super easy, so what we're going to do to get started is steep some Lipton organic black tea just like this and get some sugar. I'm going to use about a half a cup to a cup of sugar, and we're going to steep the tea. It's about 10 tea bags, and for a pickle jar that we're using is going to be about maybe a quarter of a stock pot. And the trick that I use is to tie the tea bags together so we can get them out easy. Just exactly like that. So once I have my tea steeped, we're essentially going to make sweet tea. And I've poured about a cup of maple sugar, which is as organic as it gets, onto the stove. And we're going to let that dissolve. We're going to stir it a little bit. And once we do that, we are going to get our jar, which I use this pickle jar here. And we make sure that it is disinfected. You don't want any bacteria in there. So you want to disinfect it with bleach. So then I pour our sweet tea. It's literally at this point just pretty dark sweet tea. We pour it into this jar here, and we are going to add a little bit of water. We're going to top it off with some water, so it's maybe about 3/4 full. Next, you want to let your sweetened tea cool to between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. This step is absolutely crucial. If the tea is too hot, it's going to kill your SCOBY, and we're going to deal with that in the next step. I cover it like this while it's cooling just to keep bugs out. All right, it's been a few hours. We're going to test this to make sure it's between 75 and 85. Don't put it in too hot because you're going to pour your SCOBY in next. All right, I'm going to break in here because you're probably asking yourself, what in the heck is SCOBY? Well, let's go over it real fast. The SCOBY, or symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, is the heart of kombucha brewing. It's a living, gelatinous layer that ferments your tea by converting the sugar into healthy acids, vitamins, and probiotics. The bacteria and yeast work together in harmony, creating a slightly tangy, fizzy drink we know as kombucha. Think of the SCOBY as both a protector and a worker. It forms a seal over the surface of your tea, keeping out contaminants and mold while actively fermenting the brew. In fact, a healthy SCOBY actually fights off mold. So taking care of your SCOBY is essential because that's what transforms plain tea into a powerful probiotic beverage. Also note that it only works with black tea. And it's going to burn it or kill it. All right, so this is good to go. 84 degrees is good enough. A SCOBY hotel, and this is our SCOBY hotel, is simply a jar where you store extra SCOBYs and sweet tea to keep them alive and healthy between batches of kombucha. It's a great way to save backup SCOBYs for future brewing or to share with friends. That way you don't have to buy them on Amazon anymore. Once you buy it, you just brew your kombucha, you save a little bit, put some sweet tea in there just like this, and they will continue to grow and replicate so you can keep using them in the future. Or you can share them with friends. Just like brewing kombucha, you need to feed the SCOBY hotel every now and then with fresh, black, sweet tea, occasionally to keep the bacteria and yeast thriving. Think of it as a cozy home for your SCOBYs to hang out until they're needed. But just know you'll have to keep your SCOBY hotel between, say, 78 and 83 degrees, and you can do that by using a jar warmer. But we keep a SCOBY hotel going. This way, we always have Scobies and our liquid ready to go. Now, you can see here, I'm adding the liquid about 1 cup or 2. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. Into our brewed sweet tea, we're also going to grab one of these pellicles. Now, people think the pellicle is what the SCOBY is, but the SCOBY, the bacteria and the yeast, is actually in the liquid. But the pellicle also has SCOBY on it, and it's important, I think at least, to put a pellicle in there. Now, you don't have to, and if you don't, your SCOBY, over the course of the 14 or 16 day brew, will actually grow a brand new pellicle on the top. So what we did is we poured that 1.5 cups or 2 of the SCOBY liquid into our sweet tea, and now we're going to test the pH. Now, we got this pH test kit from Amazon. You want to make sure the pH is low. The SCOBY can't thrive if the pH is too high. So you want the pH of your sweet tea to be right around like in the high 3, low 4. Luckily, tea is acidic to begin with, and when you pour your SCOBY liquid in there, that's really going to bring down the pH of your SCOBY there. So this is basically ready to go. Now, what I'm also going to do is pour a little bit of sweet tea back into our SCOBY hotel. That's going to give them exactly what it needs to thrive and to make sure. Now, here, our kombucha is ready to go and it's ready to be brewed. I'm going to wipe off the edge, make sure that there's nothing on there in a mold. I'm going to cover it with a coffee filter and then wrap a rubber band around there. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Just wait 14 days. But here's the thing. One thing I cannot leave out, and I can't stress enough, you have to get a jar warmer. Set the jar warmer for 80 degrees. The jar warmer, we use the kind that wraps around the jar. They're super easy. I think they're like $20 on Amazon. I'll put a picture of what we use on here now. And just wait 14 days. And if you look on your SCOBY or on your kombucha, as it brews, you will see a pellicle form. So once you've done this and you have your heating wrap wrapped up around your jar, just put it in a dark place and let it ferment. I let it ferment for no less than 14 days. And by that time, you'll be good to go. All right, so after that 14 days, what you want to do, or 14 to 16 days, the longer you go, the more acidic and more like vinegar it's going to get. But anyway, what you want to do is get some jars or bottles like this. These are the absolute best bottles to use. These Grolsch bottles, I think they are. These make the best, most fizzy kombucha. So what you want to do is get yourself some of these bottles, make sure they're really clean. What you want to do is take yourself about a teaspoon of sugar. We use maple sugar because it's organic. About a teaspoon, we put it in there. And then we put some sort of maybe like grape juice, or this time we use blueberry juice. We just mashed some and poured a little bit of juice, maybe about a tablespoon in there. And then we filled it up to about maybe about an inch or 2 from the top with our kombucha that had been brewing for 14 to 16 days. We put the lid on it and secure it, and then we put it back in the warm area with your SCOBY hotel. So you again want this to go for 14 to 16 days between 78 and say 83 degrees for 14 to 16 days. The longer you go, the more fizzy it's going to be. The longer you go, also the more chance that it could explode. So don't leave it for too long, but we found that leaving ours for about 14 days, it really is the best. Now, once it's there, once it's brewed and fermented, the second fermentation for 14 days, what you want to do when you're ready to drink it, do not open it right then. What you want to do is put it in the refrigerator for a few hours so it gets ice cold. Once it's ice cold, the carbonation will be inside the liquid instead of all at the top. If you open that up when it's warm, all your carbonation is going to just come out right when you open it, and that's going to be that. So a pro tip is definitely to put it in the refrigerator and let it get cold before you open it. That way it stays fizzy. So anyways, that's it. That's the video. If you found it helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps with our YouTube rankings. And definitely hit that subscribe button. It helps out more than you know. And we'll see you next time out on the ridge.